Hi, welcome back to Shakesyear. We're still working on Henry VI Part 3, and we've made it to Act 4. Today we get to hear from King Edward in Act 4, Scene 1. So the past couple days we've been in France because Queen Margaret went to ask King Louis for help, and Warwick also went to King Louis to get his daughter, Lady Bona, to marry King Edward. King Edward, back in France, decided that he would rather marry Lady Grey. So yesterday, Warwick and the Queen found this out. Warwick switched sides again and says that now he's on the side of the Lancasters instead of the Yorks, and he's ready to go to war against them. He and Margaret are now friends and on the same side. So in Act 4, Scene 1, we start out back in England, and we've got the King there and all of his brothers, Richard and George, plus a few other random people are there, Hastings and Montague and Pembroke and Stafford and blah blah blah, and they're chatting about his marriage, and the brothers aren't super supportive of it. They say it was a particularly hasty marriage, and they think that it was maybe a bad idea for him to marry Lady Grey instead of Lady Bona, because Lady Bona would have made an alliance with France, whereas now this could be taken very badly since Warwick was already there and asking for Lady Bona's hand when he married Lady Grey. They're like, you're actually just making an enemy out of things, and he's like, but I'm the king, I can do whatever I want. And then Lady Grey stands up, she's now Queen Elizabeth. She stands up and she says, by the way, I'm not a gutter rat, like I come from a decent family. And Clarence makes some comment about I think about Lady Bona, and she's gonna have to marry somebody now, and the King's like, oh, you're worried about finding a wife? I'll find you a wife. And Clarence / George is like, I don't trust your judgment because of your own marriage that you got going on there, so I'll find my own wife, thanks very much. And then a messenger comes in to relay the messages from Warwick, the Queen Margaret, and and King Louis of France. He comes in and relays their messages, basically saying they're ready for war and that Warwick is back on the side of King Henry. He has deserted King Edward for this blight to his reputation, and Lady Bona doesn't want anything to do with him anymore. She hopes that he becomes a widower very soon, all that kind of stuff. And they're like, yeah, this is not good. And Clarence and Somerset are like, this is really not good, and they leave. And Clarence is like, well, that's it, I'm gonna go get married to Warwick's other daughter because I gotta marry somebody and I need to make an alliance somewhere that's gonna be strong, and you just screwed over France. So Clarence and Somerset leave, and King Edward is a little bit lost, and he says, Clarence and Somerset both gone to Warwick, yet am I armed against the worst can happen, and haste is needful in this desperate case. Pembroke and Stafford, you in our behalf go levy men and make prepare for war. They are already or quickly will be landed. Myself in person will straight follow you. But ere I go, Hastings and Montague, resolve my doubt, you twain of all the rest are near to Warwick by blood and by alliance. Tell me if you love Warwick more than me. If it be so, then both depart to him. I rather wish you foes than hollow friends. But if you mind to hold your true obedience, give me assurance with some friendly vow that I may never have you in suspect. And Hastings and Montague both say, no, we're dedicated to you. And then he turns to Richard, who's the only one of the brothers left. Richard had a little aside right before this monologue to say, I'm sticking around because I want to get the crown. I don't care about wives. He turns to Richard and says, what about you, Brother Richard? Are you sticking with me? And Richard's like, yeah, I got your back. And they're like, all right, let's go fight a war, because we got to keep fighting wars. So yeah, not a very exciting monologue today, just prepping to go to war, and a little bit of needing assurance from the people still on his side that they are still on his side, because he's losing friends very quickly because he married the wrong lady. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for more as the war continues to rage on. Mwah.